me get my lighting. I just had to make sure. Why was my ring light? This is the first time I opened up my ring light since lending it to the Halloween party I hosted. And I was like, there's still like glitter and spider webs and like randomness around where I'm like, I'm just glad I made it in one piece. I was like, somehow at 3 a.m., I still was like, where's my ring light? Put that in the bike. So my boyfriend can bike that home while I go to the gay bar. Okay, we're good. We're
Ma'am,
good.
I would like to say so loud. Your Halloween party looked like so much fun. Your pictures looked so fierce. I was like, there she goes. There she is.
There she is.
Right.
I mean, I had in very, very quintessential Candace fashion, I had a full-blown meltdown the morning of and was like, what is my life amounted to? Like, what am I doing? And then by that night I said, this is what I'm here for. Dressing up like Pussy Boots among a bunch of full adults at a local nonprofit cafe and just having a fun ass time. Karaoke, we were like, oh, hopefully karaoke, like people are interested and it goes for like an hour. Why was
And it
karaoke
went
going for
hard.
2.5 hours? I
I'm
said, I
sure.
have to go actually. I have an appointment with the dance floor at the like I have to go, but like y'all keep going. And they're like, great, we love that. But I said I will be taking my ring light because I need to make sure I have this for my official BBA business. So
I love
now I'm
this.
coming
I
off
love
that.
this. Your Halloween was drastically different than mine. I had so many plans this
Me
Halloween,
too.
but they all fell through, unfortunately. A lot of medical things happened to a lot of people leading up to
Oh
Halloween this
Lord.
year. Yeah, thankfully, like everybody's okay. There was a
Yeah.
brief moment where, like, a very good friend of mine here, like, we weren't sure her dad was going to make it.
Oh my God.
Like, it was real bad. Like, he had to get hellevac'd out. It was wild. He's good now.
Shit.
He's good now.
Okay.
But,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
yeah, so
All
Halloween
Hallows
did.
Eve. It's like, calm down a
Oh, it's
bit.
not even like the day, it was like the weekend. Like, there was so much
Um,
that went down that week. And I'm just like, you know what? Listen, everybody figure out what, like, be with your families, take care of your bodies. One of another really good friend, she's still we don't know what happened to her. She don't know what happened to her. She's still trying to feel better. She's like, Shayna, I feel like I should be back to like being in my body by this weekend. Like, do you want to hang out this weekend? I'm like,
by
what
this
happened to
weekend.
you?
Oh my God. That's me with like one minor inconvenience. I'm like, I'm already canceling things for 2 weeks. I'm like, you know what? Actually, I don't know if it's in me, but I'm glad to hear everybody's hopefully doing okay. Oh, that's
Yes, and happy Dia de los Muertos. Yes.
yes.
Oh my gosh,
Thank you,
the
son.
outfits that I have been seeing, the dedications that I've been seeing online for Dia de los Muertos
Oh,
brings
los dioses.
tears to my eye. People went hard
It's one
this
of
year.
my favorite just like art representations. Is that fast? Is it just like Los Dios de Muertos? Like, is that the quintessential art and like how people paint their face? Is there another term for it? Like, is there a specific art style or term for that? Or is it just a
Like, does
celebration?
it
Because I
have a
want to
name?
like,
Does like the style of makeup
yes,
and
does it have a
decoration
name?
have a name? That's a good
Yes.
question. I don't know.
If anybody knows, because I want to like make sure I also want to educate myself and maybe I'll just look it up. So no, no worries to do the education. But it's just there's something just so beautiful and striking and just like it's just like the culture like speaks to me through that and just the colors and the vibrancy but the meaning and the depth it's just like it gives me very Scorpio where it's like very just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
making the
yeah, yeah.
beauty of like the dense and the death and like but also just rebirth and celebration and it just every time like every part of the year I'm like yes 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 yes
You know
yes I love
what? You
this.
know what? Yeah. Like, hey,
Yeah, you know what I
like
mean? I'm
it
just like,
makes sense, yeah.
uh-huh. I love this. I
Astrologically
absolutely love
speaking,
it.
it gives.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
okay, so let's dive into a little bit about Maria. Let's dive into a little bit about Maria. So, for those of you, once again,
Okay.
the link is in the description. Everything is
Mhm,
over
mhm.
there. It's a Q&A where we have a marginalized babe. She is Vietnamese, not Californian, Canadian.
Canadian. Mhm.
There it is. Vietnamese Canadian. And she talks about her experiences living in China, Korea, Germany.
In Germany, in 2 cities in Germany, so she
There are
kind of splits it
two
up
cities in
sometimes, yeah.
Germany. Yeah, I found this fascinating. I found her
Mhm.
answers so, and this is why I really, really appreciate the focus on the marginalized, like, women and femme experience,
Yeah,
because there is a
yeah,
lot of overlap that she included in her experience. Like, it's not even that she intentionally included it. Like, once you start thinking in a like, focusing on marginalized experiences, there does tend to be those overlaps. But,
right.
like, what she was talking about through her own experiences, it helped. It made a lot of sense to me with my experiences living in Asia also, but it was just
Yeah.
interesting to me that another Asian person would experience something similar, but for completely different reasons, you know?
Yes. Yes. Well, it's just
Yeah.
the intersection of it all, right? Where it's like we definitely and though we are named Black Babes Abroad, like it's black and brown and marginalized, right? We keep opening up the space because we all have unique experiences, but similar. Like there's overlap, talking about the overlap. And so it was really fascinating to just talk to Maria because I was speaking with her and shout out to Kirsten, a friend of a friend who introduced us, which was like so great. And Maria was so game to do the interview and to even give us more specifics about her experience, which was amazing. But it was just really interesting to see the nuances of another Asian woman living in Asia and what her experience was specific to different Asian countries, right? We talk about how, how there's all of these different elements and intersections that people can find their identity and also the culture that they actually find themselves in. So just reading and hearing more about her experience in China, in Korea, how they saw her, how, talking about the Asian stereotypes that she doesn't fit in, and that was kind of her experience. Um, and it was just it's very interesting how many similarities we can find with on paper different situations, like myself being a Black woman in Denmark. I related to so many of those things that she talked about as an Asian American, Asian Canadian, in especially in Germany. I was like, oh yes, I see this, I've heard of this, I know of this. And Son, unfortunately, Maria is not joining us today, but we wanted to say if there's, we put all of Maria's contact information, so you can of course reach out to her, and she's super open to answer any questions. And if we have an overwhelming amount of like, oh, people want to ask questions, we'll bring her on. I think that'd be the next level. We want to do more of like the interviews with the babes as well, like
Yes.
video
Yes,
interviews.
yes. There were a couple of, like, brief sections because I want folks to, like, read everything that she has written, but there were a
Yeah.
couple of, like, brief sections that I would really like to just kind of, like, put into the space that she
Yeah.
has written. Um, Let me see. Oh my gosh, okay, where do I wanna start? Where do I wanna start?
I know there's so many. Also, if y'all have just general questions about the article, but just in things, we always dance around, we always move around. So drop any questions as well, if it's relating to the article or just relating to the checklist, BBA stuff, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So, yes to all of those things. And where do I want to start with this? Because she talks about like her experience of sizeism within
Hmm.
Asia, but like within this one specific section, do I just want to read these two? Okay, it's like 6 sentences. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
read
read
it.
those 6 sentences. Okay. So the question that we asked was, do you think your experience of being a first
Mhm.
generation Asian Canadian colored your time living abroad? We've heard that many Asian Americans can feel like outsiders when living in mainland Asia. What was your experience? And she said, when I lived in China, I was surrounded by other Canadians who were also living abroad. And since I worked at an international school, that environment probably sheltered me from many of the cultural challenges I might have otherwise faced. The difficulties I encountered had some to do with my appearance and size. In many parts of Asia, women are expected to be petite and slim, and I don't fit that stereotype. Finding clothes that fit was difficult, and sometimes I felt judged when trying things on. There was also an assumption that I would speak the language fluently, which I didn't. That being said, and I'm grateful that you bolded this, I also noticed that a great deal of value was placed on whiteness. Even though I was Canadian and a native English speaker, many families in Asia seemed to believe that their children would learn better or that the school would be run more effectively by a white teacher or administrator. This created an interesting dynamic where my nationality and professional qualifications aligned with expectations, but my racial identity did not. I said, "Thank you,
Uh,
Maria, for bringing this into the space." I have heard so many things that I want to discuss in this.
yeah.
One about the like white administrator thing or like white teacher thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that I have seen repeated time and time again on like different people's like TikTok accounts or just people telling their stories on different social media platforms, especially from Black teachers. I've seen I really think that the concept of Black Babes Abroad is one that can be expanded and be an additional scream of income? I think you mean
Probably
stream.
stream. Love that. Halloween mood. We're still in the Halloween mood.
Yeah, thank you, son.
But
Um,
yes. Oh yeah, we're there.
yeah, like be I've seen stories of that being the reality for a lot of people, like especially Black people that are teaching in Asia. The I assumed at the when I was seeing all of this, oh, okay, well, I guess it's just how people treat Black educators when they are abroad. The fact that it was also happening to Asian people,
Hmm.
that I found
In
fascinating.
Asia.
In Asia, that I found fascinating.
Okay, and so this is where again the complexities of all of this. And so I love this piece, and honestly, I would say like Maria had so much dense like writing and storytelling that was like I could in a mindset in a writer sense try to edit this, and I was like, Mama, I want to keep it going because she had so many incredible lines and it was just written so beautifully. But this part did not surprise me because of one of the main cruxes of my studies with intercultural studies, the master's I did, was the whole strength of global English. And so they talk about how English is its own currency, how English is a commodity, and how one, there's so many different types of English, but English still has, as a language, still has a strength and a pervasiveness globally. And it has this air of sophistication, of professional, of the new, the modern. And there's so many. I won't go to like all the history of how how English was brought to Asian populations, specifically China, um, and other populations of. You still see it now in Scandinavia, for example, these small countries like Germany, especially Denmark and Sweden and Finland. It's like if you want to make it to a certain level, if you want to seem like you are at a certain status,
You
you have
have to learn
English.
English.
You have to learn English. And this is now it's changing in modern times, but we're talking about the booms of like, 1900s, like especially like the boom like 1930s, 1940s where it was like these English programs were basically marketed to these other cultures being like if you want to be taken seriously, if you want opportunity, if you want to get out and expand your mindset, you need to know English, right? And so the English was put on this standard. With English, though, it's not all English that's created equal. It was usually, British English, especially around like Europe. And then, of course, like the Western American English, Canadian as well. And again, when you go into the scopes of this, okay, what do we really mean by Western English? Who's speaking Western English? What are these other cultures seeing? And what are these promotional pieces and stuff given to them? It's white people. It's white, blonde, blue-eyed people that are speaking English, right? That is where it kind of goes down to this funnel of what people see as successful, what people see as modern, what people see as their way out is to be the closest to that type of English, so be the closest to whiteness. So done with my little thesis. But with that, when she says like, "Oh yeah, I had the qualifications, I had the educate, I had all of this," but in an Asian country as an Asian man, I was still looked at as not as effective or not, the primary because I wasn't white. Because actually, what they want is this illusion of, "Ooh, we have a white person here teaching us English." That must be the crux of English. And also, I'm sure Shayna, you've had experience, but I've had experiences at different places where I've been
I
doing like
forgot to
English
put
tut.
these in. It's
Oh
too
yeah,
late.
do
Please
those.
continue. Should I put these in? Is it too late?
I don't know. Can you hear us? I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you
you, but
fine.
I also remember that sometimes people would say that there's a weird echo.
Let us
I'm
know
gonna
how the
just put
sound
them in
is.
really quick. Don't
Try,
just don't lose your thought. Don't lose your thought.
try. You're fine. Um, but no, we're back.
We're back.
We're almost there. Yeah, we're back. We're so back.
Amazing.
I can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay. Mhm.
No, but all that to say is I've definitely been in scenarios talking about global English, or even just in places here where it's like, oh yes, I'm in English, I'm a writer, blah blah blah, and then they see me or they see other people, on these panels and stuff, and they're like, oh, not what we thought the person who was going to teach us English looked like, right? And
Mhm.
even in microcosms, I've gotten it when people are like, oh, where are you from? And I'm like, California, and they're like, oh, like, and I've dug more into it. It's like they don't think. I mean, it's weird because I'm like, I like California is like the most diverse place like I can think of. But when
I
they think
mean,
of California, they think of like a blonde surfer girl, and they're like, "Oh, you're from California." Oh, like people wouldn't see me as the California representative. You know what I'm saying? So it's just very pervasive how that imagery and how the strength of like whiteness and English and education and status is still all around where some people, have seen that's like there is an American privilege that does come with some of these things. Yet people forget what all Americans actually look like, if that makes sense.
yeah. I will also say so. Like, and something that I talk a lot about on the YouTube, like on my channel, is that like white supremacy and anti-blackness are two sides of the same coin. So if one
Yeah.
thing is present, then the other one is automatically present also. And I
Mhm.
find it very interesting. Not that I've experienced this in Bangkok, but I've heard iterations of this from other people who have been to other countries within the Asian diaspora when it comes to, yes, like for so what Maria was experiencing here is the idea of like white English supremacy, where it's like, oh, the like standardized white people English is high class, it is high education. We want somebody that looks the idea of what we assume these people are supposed to look like. Also, it is that, and that holds a kind of academic currency that holds a professional currency. But then on the
Mhm.
other side, AAVE, African American Vernacular English, holds social currency. It's like the idea
Mhm.
that people have of, oh my gosh, you must be so cool, you must be so edgy, you must be so dangerous, you must be so, even
Right.
though a lot of people don't necessarily understand the nuances of AAVE, what certain things mean, like there's there's a separation of that, but there's also an idea of what a person who what person who is Black is supposed to speak in AAVE in ways that
Absolutely.
they still might not like not even they as in like the Asian diaspora, but people who are not within the community. There's an idea of what they are assuming people are supposed to sound like. Um, who look Black, and
Mhm.
then there's like a jolt of, oh well, this is different. Now I don't know what to do with this professionally. Now I don't know what to do.
Right.
um and I don't think that that's a thing that's unique to Asia. I just it's just it's fascinating that this is a thing that also affects Asian people. And then she was also talking about so like within that section, she was also talking about the expectation of slimness, of thinness
Mhm.
within Asia, which yes, it is wild. It is very pervasive. It is everywhere. It is fascinating. I keep using the word fascinating,
Yeah.
and I
It is
don't
cool.
have another. It is like, and I can only really speak for Bangkok more specifically, but there is literally they call it fat people malls. So there are malls for people that are when I say fat people malls, here that's like anyone over a size 8. Like I could go and shop there.
Off off to
And
the
when
fat people ball I go.
And when I say, like, I have a friend who is contemplating coming to visit me, and she was like, "Oh, I heard such great
Mhm.
things about shopping in Thailand, especially Bangkok. Like, do you have any places that?" And I know my friend, she is curvy. Oh my!
Yeah.
boom, boom, and she's tiny too, so her curves are just like very, like they're
Yeah.
very articulated. I'm like, oh, oh my god, yes. Here's the thing: here, curves are not celebrated the way that
Right.
they are back in the States. So, in
Right.
the Fat People malls, the stores are called Little Miss Piggy, Oink Oink. We have one that's called Calories. There's another one that's called, oh yeah, uh,
Wait.
blatantly
There's a
disrespectful.
clothing store called
Yeah,
Calories.
Calories.
It's like they're branding it like, oh, like not only is it about people want like we're on theme. Like it's like the marketing team was like, great, oink oink, piggy piggy,
No, there's another one that I think is called Oink
calories.
Oink. Yeah, yeah,
I oh
yeah.
my happy birthday.
Oh my gosh, wait,
Sunday,
whose
happy
birthday?
birthday.
I
Thank you
think
for
this is
popping
my birthday.
in. You stay safe too, bub.
Yes, happy birthday. And yeah, everybody stay safe out there. Also, for those of you who, thank you for hopping on this live. If you're in the United States, be sure to vote. I sent in my
Yes.
ballot, send in yours. It's
Send in
very
your ballot.
important. It's wild times out there. I know that our
Yes.
faith in the government is pretend like
Dwindling.
basically non-existent.
But
Still
still,
vote. Do your best. We're all just trying our best. And happy birthday.
every day.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, so like the and how that shows up when it comes to I'm happy it needs an story about the beauty
Sun,
standard. And
spill.
I'm sure that the beauty standard in Vietnam, because Vietnam's right next door to me. And okay, you know what? You know what? We're all gonna have a nice little conversation with these with what's going on in the chat. Because I between the sizeism, between the colorism also, everything here has a lightening cream.
I mean, Maria talks about that
Everything.
too. The lightning creams is it's
And
crazy.
how how far you are from a beauty standard. I don't know if it's like this
Yeah.
here, but she mentioned that it's like this in Korea. And I have friends that had worked in Korea that talk about
Yeah.
this, where it's like, oh yeah, like we're able to make good friends and like food is great and all this stuff. But how closely you fit into the beauty standard will affect the job opportunities you have because you will have to send in a headshot with your
Hmm.
resume. And sometimes you
Hmm.
can get hired off that headshot because they want people that fit that standard. And the
Hmm.
standard, as it not just specifically to Korea, but globally, is constantly changing here. And it changes from one country to another, from one decade to another. And like I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of people. I think right now, I don't know if it's like all over Asia, but it's definitely, noticing it more in Bangkok
Hmm.
right now. Nose bridges are a really big thing. Like people, but this is what I'm saying. Like it changes
It just
from place.
changes.
So, like being somebody, as Maria's talking about, who is, I'm getting so many text messages right now. Being somebody who is in a curvy body and like some of her features were celebrated while others weren't.
Mhm.
It also sounds interesting where it's like, oh, they were celebrated in a way where it's like, oh, like what surgeon did you go to? Like your eyes are so big. Not like, oh, you have such pretty eyes. It's like, oh my gosh, I love your eyes. Tell me about your surgeon.
You must have bought those. Crazy.
It's it's I was trying to find another word. Fascinating
Yeah.
was the only word that was coming to mind. But yeah, like and I can only speak for my experiences living
Hmm.
here, seeing how obvious that like I can identify what the beauty standard is here. There is
Right.
nothing that I can do to fit vaguely within that beauty standard. Doesn't matter how thin I get, doesn't matter how much surgery I have. At the end of the day, my hair is going to do this and I am black.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Am I right? Like, but that is, I think
Oh, wait,
it's
just to
one
finish my
so
thought,
oh
just
go,
to
go, go,
finish
go,
the
go.
thought. And with that, it's very, for me anyway, it's very liberating because I know that there is nothing that I can do. There's nothing that I can do but be me. In other
Yeah.
spaces, like, oh, okay, well, I'm like maybe a little bit closer to a beauty standard, or oh, maybe people will treat me a little bit better if I like put my makeup on like on this day, or oh, it'll be a little bit more professional if I do da 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 da. Da. It true.
It does not matter here. For in my experience, it does not matter.
Yeah.
um, yeah. And like
That
generally, like Thailand is a very kind country, so it's not like people are gonna be like yelling or like cursing or like whatever. But like with that base level of human decency, me trying to lose an extra, I don't know, 20 pounds from somewhere, it's not gonna make a difference. So I'm just like, oh, let me just be me fully
yeah,
and not
it
do the
is
things I don't want to do.
the it is an interesting, it's just an interesting not take, but an interesting feeling, right? Because I felt the same thing in Denmark where I like and I think it's a kind of a common, assimilation, going to a new country and you kind of just wanna blend in. Like, you kinda just wanna be like, "Okay, I wanna be like the locals. I wanna live like the locals. What are the locals doing? I wanna learn the language. I wanna, like, get into it," right? And so I think with that, the assimilation comes over and you're like, "I just wanna look like I just wanna, like, be able to go down the street and nobody clock me as a tourist," right? But then you get to a point, I think around, for me, it was like year 2-ish or so, year 3, where I was like, "Okay, well, here's the thing. The styles that these girls that these beautiful Scandinavian girls are wearing do not fit my body. They don't fit. I don't feel cute. I don't feel like myself. I don't know who I am. Like, I'm not even leaning into my strengths, and I'm still trying to fit into American beauty standards as seen by Scandinavians. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, well, now I need to be like the California girl and do this, or I need to be this person. I need to be the tort. Because I was like, I'm never. You get to a point where I was like, I'm never. Nobody's going to look at me, unfortunately, and be like, they're Danish. Even to the other Danish people of color that I've seen and observed, there's still the rhetoric, and until they open their mouth and speak beautiful Danish, people are still like, oh, but it seems, at least my interpretation, it seems like they're like, okay, but when did you get here? Is your family actually from here? Do you just know good Danish? Like, it's still kind of like you're not what we all perceive as Danish or Scandinavian. So they're always going to get clocked in some ways. And so I think that's what you're talking about is like leaning into where I'm like, well, if you're going to clock me, I might as well be about myself. I might as well dress how I want to dress and take the bits. And, when it goes to like your size or how you dress, I'm like, baby, if people are going to be staring at me, let me give them something cute to stare at. Like, or not give a shit because I don't feel like dressing up or doing whatever, and you're going to stare at me and I'm going to be maybe in my pajamas running around the street, and I'm okay with that because you're going to stare at me either way. So like what's the point? So I think there is this other, and this is, the shit I love is, when we get to our second checklist of like making your own space in this new place and finding this new sense of identity when you don't have this culture, especially the US culture, kind of constantly telling you what the fuck you should look like and how you should go and how you're going to be perceived. And the flip side to that is what Maria talks about is getting to another culture and understanding what they perceive as the beauty standard. And so now you're in between two different beauty standards, and I think it's a great time to be like, well, you know what? Fuck off to all of them because I can't fit into everybody's ideal standard for what I should look like. I can only be myself. And so really then it's okay, well, can I still make a comfortable life as myself here or can I not? And so I
Mhm.
think luckily I'm absolutely able to make a comfortable life here as myself. But to your point and to Maria's point, it's like when there's a headshot, like when being yourself also can fuck with your career opportunities and your money. Okay, well, is that the place that is going to be your home? Is that longevity? Like, do you have longevity in that place if you are constantly going to face blocks by just how and who you are? So I think that's
Yeah.
the importance of these conversations is like and that's what I love. I just love the nuance and the depth of Maria's experience and how she shared it, where it's like, yes, it was great, and I learned this, and I did this and this, and also there was this part, right? That's all that we want to share with people is to say that it's absolutely possible to find a new space and find a new home, and it's not going to be perfect. So what can you live with, and
Yeah.
what can't you not live with?
And in reading what she was talking about, also, I do just want to shout out Sun saying, ultimately, we're
Yes,
not white. And that is a beautiful thing because, yes, that is a beautiful thing.
that part.
That that
But in
is
the
a
UK, if you're
beautiful
not
thing.
white,
And
land owning male, you're not English. Yeah. It's like, so now what? You're like, okay, well,
yeah.
now what?
there was what was I? Wait, oh no, I lost the thought. Is it gonna come back? Um,
Beauty standards.
no, it wasn't
Um,
about the beauty
if
stand.
your beauty standard is linked
It
to your
was
career.
about wanting to, no, it was about her wanting to so in Germany, once again, if you have not read the article, go read the article.
Yes.
Link in the description. She talks about the two places that she lived in Germany. One of the
Hmm.
places that she lived in, she had a great experience. The other one, she did not have a great experience. She refers to it as traumatic within the article. You want to learn more about it? Go read it. And there, it sounds like one of the things that really made that experience so painful, that her experience living there so painful, was how difficult it was to build community,
Hmm.
a lasting
Hmm.
sense of community within
Hmm.
that space. And it also sounds like that spot that she moved to that she didn't have a good time in, that was the smaller location, right? Like that was the
Yes. Yeah.
smaller city. And she talks a little bit more about it in the article, and I could not agree more. As much as I would love to, I'm not a suburbia girly, but I'm not necessarily a big city girly either. Like, I like Bangkok, but I would like to. Jersey City, for those of you who know, if I could take Jersey City and pick it up and move it somewhere, and move it to Thailand, move it somewhere warm and
Oh,
tropical, oh my God,
if I could
like
take
that.
Oceanside Carlsbad and move it and quite literally move it to Denmark on the beach, but just also bring the weather,
Mhm.
and the tacos and the
Oh,
rooftop
and the top.
margaritas specifically. If I could do that, you'd never see me again, or you'd only see me here. You'd only see me on the beach with or said rooftop
Let me
with my
tell you
margarita.
something. If I could take Jersey City, a little bit of Hoboken, but Jersey City, pick it up. The
Okay,
public
Hoboken.
transportation, if we could take
Top.
the, oh my goodness, there was they have a banana
Mhm.
pudding spot, a Filipino banana pudding
Stunning.
spot. That was so
Stunning.
good. They had a little cookie shop that was just, and they would, there was a Haitian restaurant, everything on walking distance. If I could just pick all of that up and just move it somewhere warm.
Drop the food that you wish you could take with you to another country. Just drop it now. Let's just start the conversation. What's the one food that you're like, okay, if I could pack this in my suitcase and know I had it wherever I landed, what would it be? Because
I would
mine,
also
wait, you go.
yours. No, no, no,
I'm thinking.
because yours. Oh, okay.
I'm thinking now.
Um,
I have five that just came to mind. I was like, wait,
I can't say that there's one specific food, but I will say that I recently found out that there was an all-you-can-eat taco spot here in Bangkok
don't
where you
challenge
can
me with a
eat
good time. Don't
all
threaten
you
me with
can
a good
eat
time.
all you can eat tacos. I think you're allowed to stay there for up to 6 hours too. And I think it's essentially like 14 USD for entry.
You'd
I
roll me out of
said,
there
I am going to
with a
squat
little taquito.
beforehand. I need to like prepare myself spiritually before I go there. 'Cause I'm a wicked.
That's when I do the full body day at the gym.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That's what I do the weightlifting that day, and I earn that. Not earn that. We don't earn our food. Anyway, but no, I think mine would be a dish. A dish would just be like a shrimp taco, like
Mm.
a simple buttery shrimp
Mm.
taco served
Oh.
with a margarona, the margarita with the mini Corona
Oh,
in it.
see, and I'm not a Corona. I love a margarita. I will say there's not a lot of there's I can't say that there's a lot of agave spirits here. I think that's
Mm,
yeah, I think like
more agave
Mexican food in
spirits.
general,
I
more
hate to make price
agave
principles. Oh,
spirits.
but you're coloring a woman next. Like, son,
It is
literally
okay.
that. Welcome.
We
That
go
is literally that.
and like so while this specifically we were talking about for Maria's experience of being like, oh, you're a woman of color, all those skills you have, we're
Gotta
looking for
go.
a white person. I don't know, like
And they can't say that. That's where it's just like, then why waste our time? Which is why, and this is getting to the nuance, and this is probably farther in the checklist. This is probably second checklist. But
I think
one
you're
of
getting
the
ready to say it.
Wait, did I
No,
say
no,
that
no,
correct? Yes, you caught it.
you did
Wait,
it.
wait. Am I saying it?
I think you're saying what I was getting ready to say. Just continue.
Okay, we'll just say it.
No, 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 no. You were on it. You were on it.
No, well, I think I was gonna say like the biggest question that I get asked by Danes and other internationals here is like, how'd you make your career? Like, how'd you do it? And I was like, I stopped playing games. I was like I stopped playing games I knew I was gonna lose. And I started focusing on actual spaces that even opened the door for me. So and sometimes that's a lot of error, but it's just like if I know intentionally and I see the hiring board, if I see what your company looks like and it's whole white people, if I see that you want, even if it's just like all men and like one woman, I'm like, that's probably not the space that I'm going to have the best chance in. So I'm not going to put all of my eggs in that basket. I'm instead going to look at the spaces that I feel like I have a fighting chance. But sometimes I know the internationals and Danes here, they're like, oh, we have to apply for everything. And everybody says you just have to put it out there and apply. You're gonna run yourself ragged and it's wasted energy because to Sun's point, it's like you can have every fucking qualification, you can have everything they're looking for and more in that job description, and they still might have this thing of like, oh, but she's international, oh, she's a woman, oh, her visa, rightfully so, oh, her visa might turn, and so it's like, then why put in the application? Look for where you actually have a chance, and sometimes that is kind of like looking at the nuance and studying the places and situations that you're walking into. If that
I
wasn't what you're
like
gonna say, you go.
No, that was within the vein of what I was going to say. You said it in in a much more, dare I say, PR appropriate way than what I was going to
Oh,
say. No, no,
me
no,
PR appropriate?
no. You. I was just going to rant about white people, which
Well,
has gotten me in trouble before. But you know
look
what?
where
It's
I
going to
am.
be.
I have to there's a white person in my home, so I have to like
Oh my God, jump scare.
I know. I know. I'm always like, "Oh, who let you in?" "Oh, you pay rent here." "Oh,
um,
bye."
but like I like to say, and this kind of like crosses over into some of the dating content that I've done, but like not even dating, but like decentering men, like men related content. Go where you are celebrated. If you want to participate in a system that is built off of your labor, off of your, go where you are celebrated, whether that is in relationship, whether that is in a job, whether that is family. Not, you are not, people are not always celebrated by family. Just because you were born into a space doesn't necessarily mean that that space loves and appreciates you. Like when
Mm,
people go no contact, I understand. Go where you are celebrated. And I even think about it when it comes to the like, oh, I have all these qualifications, but alas, I'm a person of color and I'm a woman. Like, if that is a disqualifying factor when you are at the doorway, when you are at the gate,
run.
imagine what happens if you push your way past that gate, you enter in, and now all of a sudden people are like, oh, okay, um, we are going to continue doing business as usual, and
Mhm.
we are going to need you to shut up about being a woman and about being a person of color because we hired you in spite of that. Good for you.
Yeah, congrats.
Congratulations. Now you're in. Now shut up. Shut
Yeah,
up and
because you should
you
be
that
grateful for us for giving you this opportunity.
because that's eventually what's going to happen. That's eventually what's
Yes,
going to happen within
especially if you have a
any.
visa attached. Again, watch out for people holding this over your head a little bit. Oh,
Mhm.
hello from
Oh, you're from
Turkey.
Turkey.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh, I
we
need to
pour
practice
into
my
those
Turkish.
decoratas.
My
Girl, that is
bestie is from Turkey, and I
oh
and
really?
she's literally trying to teach my daughter Turk. She always speaks it, and I'm like, okay, I really need to get some phrases, but I feel like I only know like the inappropriate things, so I'm not going to flag that here. But now that I know we have a Turkish baddie, I'll start practicing. But yes, son, we pour into those who pour into. But like that's such a good point, Shayna. Is I mean, this is just life advice now, but it's like if I've learned call it call it women's intuition, call it whatever. But when you're like when in the beginning of our working relationship, actual relationship, there's like a lot of these snafus where I'm like orange flags, yellow flag. I'm like, oh, okay. And every time I'm like, well, given the benefit of the doubt, that shit comes back later in the relationship where I'm like, why did I give you a chance? And I'm not going to say like, oh, it always happens and don't give people chances. But what again, like when people show you who they are, believe
Believe them
them.
the first time.
but leave them the
Leave them the
first time
first
and at
time.
least make a note of it. But again, these are the types of like mindset and just kind of, I think this is where you, especially coming from America, especially coming from a marginalized community, it's like this is the type of energy and focus you can put into like the street smarts that like what we say is like, okay, always having knowing your ones and twos and keeping everything. It's like, okay, drop your shoulders a bit and move that into your perception of like using that street smarts because it will save you from like it will save you from these shit situations you can get into. So looking more into the intention of things and less of just like general safety, hopefully, when you move abroad. That's what I found where I was like, okay, all this pent up, like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not in severe danger. But now my third eye's open and I'm looking at again where is just not for me to waste my energy. Um, and this is again why I feel like these interviews with these other babes abroad is so important for us to just like get this information out of what could transpire and what could happen and things that you can face. And again, it's one of those things where if you are a light-skinned petite Asian woman, you could have a beaut like from Maria's reflection, you could actually fit in pretty well in China or Korea. You might not have this type of experience and that can feel like again weird to not have a blanket statement of like you can go you can't but that's the part of privilege and that's the part of just owning your experience and saying okay well Maria had this experience but I'm in a thinner body. I am lighter skinned. Okay, well I might adhere more to that beauty standard. I might have less of those sticky moments. Okay, I feel better about going. It's just being honest and transparent about that, right? On the other end of like, okay, in a bigger body, I'm darker, I might find this type of, resistance. Now I know.
Now I know, what do I want to do with that? Do I
Now,
still, is this still a place that meets the needs that I have for a potential move or a vacation or whatever? Or do I want to invest my whatever, my time, energy, money, whatever, somewhere else? It's all just information. So that
exactly.
way you can make better decisions, more personally tailored decisions. There we go.
Exactly. And this is what, again, we go back. What was it? Step two of finding your place and picking your place with purpose, which again, we have some beautiful Notion templates, if I say so myself,
She did a great job with those.
that Lux, our community, a member of our community, and myself collaborated on. And honestly, I was like, if I had these when I was moving abroad, I would have probably been ready to go in 3 months' time. Like honestly, like
Mm.
just to have a space to put all of these notes to start. And also, I gracefully kind of fell into finding a good place for me, but I think especially now as so many people are looking to find a home that actually satisfies them in a more with more longevity and in a different way, with a different intention of just like, no, I'm not just traveling to have it to find fun, but to like find a new home, to have these types of conversations about how you yourself are going to be perceived, your children possibly, your partnership's going to be perceived, the things that you might come up against. It's not a replacement for you going through them yourself, but damn it, is it so helpful to just kind of know what you can go ahead and then to Shayna's point, wait, is this something I can deal with over, is getting this free healthcare worth being stared at? For me, it is. For
Mm.
me, I said I can deal with that. I can deal with, uncomfortable conversations. I can deal with people being shocked I'm from California. I can deal with people telling me you sound like a white girl. I can deal with all of that so that me and my family are actually safe. At the end of the night, I don't have to worry about guns popping off and all this buffoonery. Like it's the trade. So that's what we say is like no place is perfect, but what can you live with versus what you can't, and starting to make notes of that and then find those countries that support your needs the
Yeah.
best.
And jumping off of what Selena said, she says that
Yeah.
I'm a tall lady, so I ruled out countries where I would stand out based on my height alone.
Welcome
We're
to
all going to
Scandinavia.
have,
Babe,
they
they'll
do
love
grow them
you.
quite tall over there. They grow
Bill,
them
what
quite tall over there.
I'm 5'6". Literally, it's so funny. Like some kitchens and counters and stuff, I'm like, this is not made for me. This was not made for I'm 5'6". Like
No Zionists. Sorry, continue.
I'm like, what this country loves a tall person. Loves a tall person. I'm like petite in this country, which I was like, okay. What?
which is going to be fascinating when I visit you. Not that I'm used to being the tallest person in the room because my family is they're tall people, but like I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be very suspicious of just like all these tall people. Like I feel like I'm just going to be very suspicious. I'm going to have a great time. Very suspicious.
Like
Um,
there's a good mix, but I'm still like, oh, it's weird though, because for how many tall people there are, why am I still fighting for people over like larger size shoes? I'm like, shouldn't you have I'm like,
so they're tall
why?
with
Like
tiny feet.
that's where I'm like, where it doesn't compute to me. Because why am I like, okay, I'm being very vulnerable. I'm like a 42 in
I
European size. I'm
don't
like a
fully
42.
know.
And why did my feet, it's true. Talk about not wanting to have kids. Here's more reasons to not. Why do my feet grow and like not evenly after I
Oh
was
yeah.
pregnant?
Oh, unevenly. So like
Kind
one is a
of.
42, one is like a I don't know,
Not
41, something
huge
like
that I
that.
have different sizes, but enough that one's a little uncomfortable in shoes if I get the same sizes. So
There
all that to say, I'm like, there should be a surplus of larger sizes with how tall y'all people are, but whatever. Sun pocket size, love that for you. But no, I'm like, I'm petite in height, mama, not in width. So
Ah. Do you find that like finding clothing in Denmark is relatively easy or
it's super easy to find clothes. I will say also, once I started leaning more to like vintage shopping and also like more diverse European shops, like not just Danish shops. Like in general, everything fits me. I've never had trouble like finding things to fit. It's more the styles that we're looking at. So like
Mhm.
sometimes the more sleek Scandinavian straight styles work with people with like a flatter chest, for example. And I put them
Mhm.
on, it's like a tent dress. And I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. So it's different things like that. But again, there's so many different types, like going to vintage shops and going to other markets. Like it's international enough, and this is why we were talking about this earlier of like that's why I love Aarhus because it feels like a small like in my sense I'm like it feels like a village and a big city at the same time. Like it feels so close and connected where I'm like, yes, we're harvesting this, we're going out to the forest and we're doing this and I see the same people, but also like I'm going to like a Canadian film festival tonight. Right, like, I'm
It's
there's all these international random events where I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, there's so much happening," but it still feels super cute and cozy, and so that's why I'm, like, personally obsessed with Aarhus and why I'm like, I don't know if I'll move to Copenhagen. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you're not in Copenhagen?" I'm like, "It's cute, it's just a bigger city and also still smaller, but, like, it compared to, like, a New York and an LA, like, way more conceivable," but still, there's just a coziness that I really appreciate. Yes, your feet, ears, and nose
but
continue to grow. Oh my God.
as we age and they do
What a
grow
terrible day
sometimes
to
with
have
a
eyes.
and they do sometimes grow exponentially
Oh
during
man.
pregnancy. That is a thing that a
Yeah,
lot of
my nose,
people learn
especially
in
they
real
say
time.
black women too, like our noses, black people, like our noses expand. And mine did a little, like my whole face shape kind of like changed and then has changed back. I think, of course, with weight and stuff. But like,
Oh, okay.
there's a lot. Hormones are crazy, y'all. Hormones are crazy.
I'm too delicate for pregnancy. I'm far too delicate for pregnancy. I'm very excited though to visit you in Aarhus. I will say that one of my non-negotiables for being able to live somewhere, to move somewhere and live somewhere,
Yeah.
was that especially since my time in Russia, I refuse to be the only Black person for miles. I refuse for it to
Yeah.
be a noteworthy moment when I see another Black person. Like that
Yeah.
I couldn't do that again. I couldn't
So
do that again.
I mean, it's so funny because I've been here 8 years, right? And so I remember me and my friend Evan, also black from is he from Michigan? Yeah, he's from Michigan. And I remember we were like when Black Panther came out, and we were always laughing about how there was like so few black people that were like any other black person we'd see in the streets, we'd just like even to the bus driver would be like, and just be like, you know the code. But truly, I had the thought the other day where I was just seeing so many black and brown people just around town, and they seemed like they weren't like they weren't here just like for bits. They were like in in work environments and stuff. And I was like, oh, it's changed.
Mm.
And although it was really funny, like this past summer, my dad and my sister were out, and there was a cruise ship that let out, and we like within seconds we saw a whole Black family dressed to the nines, and we were
That's
like,
how we
cruise
do
ship.
it.
We are like, damn, we're like, where are all the Black people in town? We're like, where are y'all going? We'll show you the place. We're like, and we just heard that they're like, how you looking? How you looking, brother? Like, what to my dad, of course, big Black man in the city. And they were just like, da, da, da. I was like, oh, we crave it. We crave it. So it's like you definitely can see again the difference of people traveling here as tourists and being of color versus people who live here and again of all different backgrounds. So it's definitely changed recently. And again, you go to Copenhagen, you see more diversity, but Maria talks about this too, where it's like, big cities, not everybody loves a big city. Um, but big cities offer more diversity, offer a little bit less of those sticky situations. So that's why it's like if you can find a city like a Aarhus or like somewhere that's like has enough going on, has the diversity. Again, a great thing is to look if they have an international university. That's a great pull of like, okay, so there's going to be other internationals traveling there. There's a little bit more diversity. Looking at some of these things will let you know, like, okay, I might run into less of that stickiness. Like, for example, when Maria talks about being in Dresden, larger city versus Ulm, smaller city, where she's like, oh yeah, I felt it very, very drastically that I was in a smaller city. And you can, I know in Denmark, you go 25 minutes out to another city and it feels like where am I? Right? So it's also something to keep in mind when you're looking for a place.
Also,
Not too much
another
yelling
thing
in
to
the US.
keep in mind when you're contemplating between bigger city, smaller city, obviously there's like different tiers of big to small, right? It's not just like a black and white situation. But the smaller the city gets and the more rural it gets, the more likely it is to be more conservative. Whatever conservative means to that country or to that culture, or if it's a religious state, to that religion, the more likely it is that it's going to lean more into that than in the bigger cities. So just
Yeah,
something else to keep in mind.
exactly. A good general point, but again, research, research, research.
Mhm.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
We have
Love.
7 more minutes. If you have questions, comments, mild concerns, type them now. Oh, also important to know, next week we are going to be going live again, but we're going to be going live on Substack. So I will be posting the link to that in the community channel. But in general, if you have not subscribed to Black Babes Abroad, do so now so that way you can get your updates about when that is going to be happening. You're still going to be able to comment all of that stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, we will not be on here. And I think that's going to be the pattern that we're going to be doing from now on.
Yes, we're gonna kind of
1 week
switch it up.
on, yeah.
We're gonna switch up because also Substack, it's where our main community is, and so it's also just nice just to keep it all together. But honestly, their live system is pretty comparable to YouTube, but it's also a little bit nicer because it's our community in there, so we can get a little fun, get a little free. And those lives when they're on Substack, they're gonna be those replays are going to be free replays, which is also nice for y'all. So if you can't make it live, they're just gonna be on there after, and you can see those. And then should we introduce sub- our paid subscriber only lives, our Q&A lives?
Oh my God. Yeah, we should. We should do that now. We should do that now. We're going to be doing, we're going to be doing, instead of one live a week, we're going to be doing 2 lives a week. One is going to be for the community, and then another one is going to be paid only. So that's when we are going to be, remember how I said like, there's some things that I feel like maybe like if I want to rant about white people, I'm like, oh, Shayna, you might want to, oh,
Yeah,
behind that paywall.
that paid Q&A chat, it's gonna go off.
It's
I
gonna
believe
go. Oh,
uncensored, uncut,
I'm that's
uncensored.
I'm a pop a gummy before the pay. Are we gonna?
I'll do some things. I won't tell you what, but I'll do some
Okay,
things. It's
okay.
gonna be nap. It's gonna be taking a nap and having a
Oh, she's gonna
lozenge.
take a nap.
But
Okay.
on stream. No,
She.
yes, we're gonna do that. But also we wanted to have a space for the paid community, but also just like a more intimate chat. If you have like one-to-one, very specific questions that you might not feel as comfortable just saying out into the YouTube algorithm, for us to have that space where it's like, hey, any specifics about this, your actual raw thoughts about this, raw and uncut. So we wanted to open up that space too. So those will be happening probably on Thursdays. We might dance around with it, but I believe we're starting this week, right? On Thursday, did
Yeah,
we decide? We're
yeah,
gonna
we're
do
going to be
This
starting this week.
Thursday. So our first VIBs, our very important babes, behind the paywall will have Q and A's for the paid subscribers only. So that's also where you can bring any specific questions, and also we can, have fun and tell our more non-PR trained
Yes,
responses and reflections.
yes, 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 yes. And
Our babes in the
exactly,
house.
exactly, exactly. Not
We try to
everybody
present
needs to know
ourselves.
what goes on. I think we're doing very well. I'd like to say we haven't said anything that would be wildly inappropriate, which I
Today at
think
least.
on the record, I don't think
On the
that we've said
record.
anything. I would like to say we're killing it. That's what I'd like to say.
Yay. Okay, probably already answered this question. What's your advice for moving abroad for people who are struggling to become financially stable in the States and trying to find a stable career? TM, we
Mm,
just did. Please go on our Substack. We just did a beautiful, lengthy article called Run the
it's a
Numbers, and it goes deep into just all of the finances around moving abroad. Again, soon we will have a Notion template to complement that, to like actually help you look at, like, do a financial audit for we call it like the money x-ray for your current situation,
oh,
putting
the
in your debts,
money
your assets.
X-ray. You didn't tell me that phrase before.
It's coming
Who
in there.
is she?
But you can already start it while you look at the Run the Numbers article. Again, it's on Black Babes Abroad on Substack. You can look at it. It's 7-step guide to get everything in, from doing your money x-ray for like what you have right now, looking at your debts, looking at assets, looking at things that can be moved, to also actually calculating what the move abroad will take. And again, it's going to be different for everybody depending on your current situation, depending on how much wiggle room you want to have, depending on the country you're moving in, the visas, all of that stuff. But we give you all the formulas to type all of that in and plan it, because I know, and Shayna and I, we are not financial experts.
We
However,
are
we've
not
moved abroad
financial
quite a few
advisors.
times. And this is probably like the best collection of advice, where it's like, if you could do the best and be the most researched before making this move, this is the template we would give you. Now, did I move abroad with all of those beautiful checks and balances set? No, no, I didn't. And I made it work. However, I want to make sure y'all have a better leg up than I did. So we say, hey, if you want 3 months stacked for your new home, this is how much. If you want 6 months, that would be great, right? So we have all the calculations. We go through all the different types of expenses, one-time costs versus reoccurring costs. We break it down. So please look at that article, because that will give you the best way to get started. And then again, Notion template coming soon.
And after you read that article, if you have more specific questions about your specific situation, you could either ask them in the comments, or if you want to book a one-on-one call with us, there's ways to do that. That's like described either like it's in the description of this video, but also in the Substack itself. But read
Yes.
that article first. Like read that article, read the associated articles. I think we have a couple other articles
The
tagged in
visa,
that.
the visa one will
I was
also
about to
be
say
good
the
for if you're
visa one.
looking for jobs. Yeah. And like how to
Yeah.
kind of navigate that.
So, like, read those things first. It will probably answer most, if not all, of your questions. But if you have
Yes.
additional questions and you want to, like, either you can chat with us, or also you in commenting.
In
People
the
in the
community.
community have so much information. Like, we
Yeah.
learn new things when we engage with community members in the comments all the
I
time.
love it.
So, reach out there, start there, and then you'll figure out where to go next. But yeah,
Yes. Kind of like a choose your own adventure. I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of like the checklist. We're about halfway through the checklist now. Our freedom flight checklist, which is crazy. But it was even
Oh
when I was
my
like putting
God.
together these articles, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, we already have an article on that. Oh my God, we have an article on that. Oh my gosh, like, so really the database of knowledge, like Seven says, it's out there. And again, we're always wanting to grow it. So if you have questions, like, please share with us if there's anything we miss. I'm so happy. I love to edit. I love a little put in of like, oh, let's put in a section. If a bunch of people are asking us questions about this thing around finances, let's put a new section and let's update the article. Let's,
Mhm.
co-op this. So yes, please, always open for constructive feedback. And thank y'all so much for just being on this ride with us. And thank y'all for being on this live and giving us your energy. This is so much.
Yeah.
Everything's
And
happening so fast. It's hard to keep
TM,
up. Yeah, there's a lot
yeah,
happening.
TM, there's a lot happening. The amount of videos that I just like planned on making today, I made a lot. Like our green book is shaping up nicely.
It
Yes.
is.
Yes. And that's how we want this to feel. We want it to feel
Yes.
like not like a green
The
book
black book.
that the babe book. Like we want it to feel like
Little
I
babe
know.
book. Yeah, the little babe book.
We want it to feel like a space where you can figure out the questions that you need to ask so that way you can figure out what is in your specific green book. Because,
Yes.
back in
Yes.
the day, it's just for Black people. But now it's like, okay, we need to be a little bit more nuanced with this. Black women, disabled people, queer people, intersectionally marginalized people. This is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Yeah.
putting that into the space.
I
Um,
know.
Next week on Substack, we on our Substack Live, we will be once again same time, similar time. It's going to be on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
figure out the
About
time.
the same
It's
time.
going to be on
Yeah.
Tuesday. Um, I know. Doesn't
Babe
the
book
Babe
stuff.
book sound
I
good?
kind of like the babe book. We'll workshop it, y'all. We'll workshop it.
Oh
Careful what you wish
my
for, cause this new
god!
branding that's coming too.
Oh my god!
Baby.
You guys aren't
Baby.
okay. Okay. The closer we get to that, the more maybe we should just like no, 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 no.
We'll
When we
tease it.
get there,
Maybe that's
we'll tease it. We'll tease
maybe for VIBs. We do a little mood board
it.
tease.
Oh my God, we could do a mood board tease for the VIB. Okay, so that's something that we will do. Next week, we're
Yeah.
going to be talking about decluttering.
Get ready.
Oh,
Gloves on,
I
babes.
personally am very excited for this one.
I'm
I'm
so excited.
so excited
I
for this
honestly
one.
I want people, if you can, because we usually put the articles the day before. If y'all can already bring some of the things you're like not sure about letting go of, like, do I keep it? Do I not? Like, I want next week's call to be interactive, strategic. Like, I'm like, okay, let's put our strategic hat on. I want to be like, yes or no. Yeah, maybe
Mhm.
I won't say yes or no, but we will ask
I might
questions
say
to
yes or
get
no.
you clear on yes or no. How about that?
Mhm. I think that'll be good. We need a line of little handy dandies. I don't think
Okay,
y'all know
son,
the merch that we've
you're
been talking about.
already in my mind because once these
I
Notion
don't.
templates are done, converting them to we'll leave
And
you on
then
that.
with the branding, and then with the branding, y'all are gonna be
We'll leave
sick
you on
of
that.
us.
Y'all gonna
Sick
be
of us.
sick of us.
Oh
I
my
love it.
god. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
we hope
That
so
is
too.
yeah. Oh, definitely. I saw that you joined the app. Fantastic. You will be
So
getting so
excited.
many more updates because we post there pretty regularly, I would like to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I like to think.
Okay. We are technically over time. So I think that
We
will
all
be
are worth it.
all for now. I think that'll be all for now.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts,
We will
Candace?
see you next week on Substack. For the VIPs, we'll see you on Thursday. Bring your questions and
Yes.
stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. We love y'all. Thank y'all for the energy as always. And we'll chat soon.
Bye. Boop.
Bye.